Hey guys, it's Alex here, and I'm back with Afan Lido for the season 20 February review. We're in our 20th season now, the double century, so it's been pretty crazy. This is probably going to be quite a big roundup for the 20th season sort of review, but otherwise we got something, well, half the season to go through. Transfers wise, start off with transfers. We had three players come in at the start of the year. Kim Byung-yong from Porto, South Korean. It was actually pretty good. When he came in, you got the little message from the director saying that our popularity or merchandise sales in South Korea have gone up. So that's always good to get us sort of getting some more sales. So imagine Afan Lido shirts being sold in South Korea. That'd be pretty cool. Then we had Owen Hill come in from West Ham. He's done very well. Actually, I want to show you this. Look at that. Could be the next Darren McCaw. So he's got a lot to live up to. He does if he wants to be the next Darren McCaw. So hopefully he can do that. Then Tommy Malloy came in, who's been really solid across the back line, good backup. And actually our first loan in January, we bought Waldemar Nowicki on loan from Man City. He is a centre back. He's a backup centre back, mainly just for the Champions League, really, because he's a very good centre back. He's already liked Draper. But that's pretty good there that we just have him in for, like, I think that's the first time we've ever loaned someone in. Like, even at the start, I don't think we loaned anyone. Um, but going out, there's quite a few. There was a few loans. Stephen Taylor going out for a loan to St Mirren. James Blackmore left for TNS. Perry Pembridge went to Kilmarnock. Chris Goodchild, he left in the end. 5 million for Reading. In the end, a pretty good deal. Happy about that. Anthony Harrington, he went for 500k to Hull. I thought I just needed to get him out, which is pretty good. And also with him, if we go to our clauses, we have a 40% next of the profit for the next time he's sold, if he's sold. So that's pretty good there to have that. Then Josh Lewin, he went out for 450k to Bournemouth. Wasn't getting played at left back. Who just wasn't going to get the first team football, decided to let him go. 450k, not too bad. Then some loans. Waters went out to QPR. Then we had quite a few go out in January. Firstly, Josh Mainwaring went to Wigan for 1.3 million. Just wasn't playing anymore and decided to cash in on him now before his value goes down anymore. He's been a good player for us, definitely, but in the end, just wasn't good enough anymore. Then we sold Farrier to Sheffield United for 3.4 million. 28 now, he was getting on and decided to let him go while his value's still higher. This is probably why I brought in the wiki, because I sold him, and I've sold actually Alan Richards to Sheffield United as well for 1.6 million. He was 29, wasn't like getting, well, he was just there, and I thought we could bring in some younger centre backs next year to help us out there. So they went out for a combined 5 million. So we brought in the wiki for backup for this year, which is pretty good. And then we actually sold Diego Gonzalez for 2.2 million to Copenhagen. He only spent 2 seasons with us, and he never really did anything. But to get 2.2 million out of him for that was pretty good there. So we let him go, and I think we got some clauses on it as well. If you look at that, we got a sell-on clause for 40% for him, and then we got a sell-on clause for Farrier also. So that will be good for that. So fixtures. We started off with some friendlies. Against some big clubs, beat Boca, beat San Lorenzo, who are actually a very big club in Argentina. Look at that. They've won the final stage 4 years running now. But we beat them, and then we beat 9-0. But then we had Lech in the Lech Poznan in the Champions League qualifying third qualifying sort of thing. Beat them 3-0 at home. Johnny Walsh and Guzman with 2. 3-0 away. O'Sullivan with 2, and Byong-yong with his first goal. Then we beat Bangor 5-4, which is pretty crazy. So this was pretty shocking for me to see this. Hillier, Purcell, Casey, Draper, and Jarman with the goals. We conceded so many. I was so annoyed that we conceded all that. We then had Seneca in the Champions Cup playoff, and we beat them 4-1 at home. Wayne Clark with 2, a Callahan goal and an own goal. Then we went on to beat Real 5-0. Benali with 2, O'Sullivan and Richards. Seneca, we beat them 3-0 away. McCaw with a goal and a missed penalty. Guzman and Walsh. So into the Champions League group stage again. Newtown, beat 2-0. Jarman and Hill. Haverwest was 5-1. Grant, Simmons with 2. Jarman and own goal. Then we had Red Bull Salzburg for our first game of the group. At home, we beat them 4-1. O'Sullivan, Callahan with 2, and Benali with 1 there. Then we beat ABBA 2-0. Owen Hill and Mata with the goals there. 2-0 versus Airbus, Hillier and Gonzalez. Then we beat AC Milan 2-1, which is pretty good away. They got a late goal, but we got McCaw and Walsh in the first half to give us the 2-1 win there. Ryder, we beat 2-0, Hillier and Gonzalez. Then Ryder again 1-0 in the Premier League Cup first round with Matt with a goal. And then we beat Goitre 7-0, Simmons with 4. Then we played Lyon away, and we were 4-0, 4-1 up at half time. Hurley, Guzman, Byung-Yong and Callahan there. Brought it back to 4-2, but pretty good for us there. 2-1 against TNS, Mark Bowen and Frankie Flynn with the goals. Newtown, we beat 3-0 in the Premier League Cup quarter-final. McCaw with 2 and Callahan. 4-2 versus Kerr, 2 from Benali. Then we beat Lyon 2-1 at home. Darren McCaw and Sullivan with the goals there. They got 1 back to level it up, but O'Sullivan got us the winner in the end. Then we beat Bala 3-0 in the Welsh Cup third round, Hilly with 2. We beat ABBA in the Premier League Cup semi-final, 3-0. Benali with 2 and McCaw with 1 there. Then we beat Real 2-0, Hillier and O'Sullivan. Then we beat Salzburg away 2-0, McCaw and O'Sullivan, and this pretty much assured us qualification and winning the group. But there we go. Bangor City, we beat 2-0, Purcell with both. And then we beat AC Milan 5-0 at home. This was actually my 1000th game on this save, which is pretty crazy. It's been 20 years. I think it would be fast if I was doing like a Premier Division, because you get about 60 or so games a year if you're in all the competitions, and you only get like, I don't know, 30, 40 in this one. But there we go, 5-0. They put on a show. Guzman with 2, Callahan with 2, and Hurley with 1. And if we look at the group stage, we won it by a landstorm. Lyon came second, Milan third, and Salzburg fourth. Then we have Newtown 5-0. Gonzalez, Weber, Mata, Watson, and Burrows. Then we played Seven Druids, beat them 9-0. Hillier with 2, Hurley with 2, Callahan, Guzman, Simmons, Walsh, Clark with all goals there. And then Haverwest we beat 7-0. Benali with a hat-trick in that one. 5-1 versus Airbus, and then a lowly 3-0 win with Burrows with a hat-trick against ABBA. Then we beat 3-2 against Ryder with a man sent off, actually. Goitre was 3-0. TNS 4-0 win away, which is pretty crazy here. McCaw with 2 in that game. Then 4-0 versus Seven Druids. 4-0 versus Kerr. And then a 10-1 win versus Corwin in the Welsh Cup. Simmons with 4, Weber with 3, Jarman, Mata, and Scholes, and they got 1 in the 90th minute, which is really annoying. Making a 10-0 look like 10-1. But yeah, so that is the league so far. And I just want to show you this though. Look at the league. We're top, obviously, with pretty good goal difference and points wise. But then second, you got ABBA on 45. Third, you got TNS on 42. Bangor, you got fourth on 42. Real, you got fifth on 42 also. And then Airbus, you got sixth on 39. There's 6 points separating second to sixth. It's just absolutely crazy. I'll show you the past positions. Look at that. That is for the ABBA, TNS, and Bangor. They've been up and down all over the place. And then Real's there as well. If I throw all of them in, they've all had they've been moving around all the time there. And to be fair, I don't know if TNS will do it this year, which is pretty crazy to see. It is probably due to the fact they actually got to the Champions League, not the Champions League, the Europa League group stage again. They got past Sporting, actually, of all people, in the best placed qualifying third round. They beat Sporting 1-0 away and then 2-1 at home. But then they lost to Spartak Moscow. But that means they go into the Euro Cup. But look at this is for their Euro Cup. They got Galatasaray, Karpati, and Chelsea. And they went up on goal difference on 5 points. They came second, and Chelsea came top with 18. But look at that. They drew against Karpati, drew against Galatasaray, lost 2-0 to Chelsea, only lost 2-1 at home. They beat Karpati, and then they lost to Galatasaray, but that means they went up on goal difference. So they actually have another knockout round to go through, which is Braga. So I don't know if they'll do that or not. We actually have a really tough tie here. Real Madrid. Couldn't get much tougher really. We could have got Dortmund, Shakhtar, West Ham. Look at that, West Ham in the Champions League knockout round. That's just pretty crazy by them. Look at their if we look at their group, they topped their group actually. Look at that, West Ham, Porto, Bayern, and Copenhagen. That's just insane. They beat Porto 5-1, beat Copenhagen, drew with Bayern, they lost to Bayern, beat Copenhagen, and then beat Porto. Absolutely insane how West Ham have done that. But yeah, so we have a pretty tough draw there. Hope we can get through that. I'll show you the stats for people. 12, no, actually, get that one available. There we go. Simmons, Callahan, I've got 12 each. Ben Ali's got 11. McCaw and Hilly got 11 as well. Guzman's got 10. McCaw's got 18 assists. Guzman's got 10. To be fair, the goals are pretty spread out if you look through the team. Like, there's a lot of goals everywhere. We've got a lot of players on the books, which is sort of starting to become a problem, I think. We're starting to lose money, I think. Look at that. 40 million, we're predicted to have 20, so I'm going to have to start selling people, I think. Like a lot more people. But let's see how that goes in the end. We do have some transfers coming in at the end of the year, though. We got one player coming in, Darren Black, an attacking mid, 19 years old from Dundee. He looks pretty alright. I can sell him on for more, which is probably what I'm looking at to do nowadays. And then also we have two coaches coming in. Joey Freeman coming in as a reserves coach, and then Phil Warlow coming in as a coach. You probably know Warlow better than Freeman, but if we look at Freeman, he was actually in our youth system from like right at the beginning, and we let him go. He had a good career actually in the end, and now I'm deciding to bring him back as a reserves team coach. He's not the best if you look at his staff attributes, but I decided just because he's a former player, I'll bring him in along with Warlow. He's all right actually. 16 mentals, 16 defending, with one cap for Wales. But yeah, he decided to retire after going to St Mirren for 4 years. But yeah, that's pretty cool there. So that's generally it really. Nothing really going on apart from just the fact that it's doing really well now. The league's really getting like interesting. Stefan Druids are down the bottom, but it's quite close to the bottom there as well. They've got 4 teams going for it there. But I'm just wondering whether TNS will actually finally lose their like sort of grasp on second. They've lost it once so far, I think, and that was it. And otherwise it's just been them and then ABBA for a while, and then Airbus came in. But Airbus are pretty low, but it's just 6 points. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, so I will be back at the end of the year for the season review. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's been Alex, and I'll see you guys later.